internet.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. What is up, Internet? I'm live with my friend, Bonny Wagener. Bonny, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Haven't had a lot of life going on
Yeah.
recently.
It's hard, man. I met Bonny 5 years ago.
2019, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's
And now
hard,
I'm now I'm
hard
old.
to believe.
Dude, I had hair when you met me.
Yep, you
Yeah.
did.
Oh God, dude. Now, so seeing you and I'm gonna get right into it though. Seeing you come out of your shell has been awesome, and I mean that in the best way possible. I don't mean it in a weird way. I love you like a sister, like the closest sister that I could love you, right? Because you've been very cool to me. You've done a lot of cool stuff. You've let me be a part of some cool things, and watching you go from like you and your mother are very close still today,
Yeah.
right? And that was very apparent when we first met. But watching you kind of not pull away from your mom because y'all are still best friends, man, and that's a beautiful thing. But seeing you just come out and be like who you are, man, has been cool.
Yeah, no, when y'all first met me, y'all
Yeah.
thought I was a teenager in high school because my mom came with me to the first class. And,
Yeah.
I was like, nope, I'm 20 something years old.
I'm your age,
Yeah, no.
dude. So when I so I didn't realize how again I thought you were a kid, and when I first realized like how kind of close you and your mom was, and like how much influence she had on you, kind of like how you dressed and things like that, was after I think it was right after you beat Ansley, and it might not have been, but it might have been. But you went out there and you had that fight with Ansley, and then you went to the back and you changed clothes and you came out in like a church dress,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, okay, she loves her and her mother are incredibly close. And like now you've got tattoos, man. Now you dress different. You've branched out, man. It's been cool to watch you grow. It's been very neat to see, man.
Yeah, I think I had maybe one or two tattoos. I got my first tattoo at
Okay.
like 18.
Okay.
It's now
Well,
covered up.
we
but-
didn't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
I had a spot where it was hidden. So I was like,
okay. No, it has been very cool watching you grow and turn into the lady that you are and stay humble and just be cool. It's been very neat for me. And I'm sure for other people too. Now, so tell us a little bit about high school. When did you first start competing? And I don't mean martial arts. I just mean in general. When did you start
Oh.
competing?
man,
Yeah.
dude. So I was actually born in Dalton, Georgia, and I lived in Tunnel Hill until about 2006 when we moved up here to the mountain. And I've been doing sports ever since I could, like from t-ball all the way to rec ball, like all the way through high school, even college. And I got into MMA because I graduated college. I was done with track and field. Like I had no team to be a part of. I realized I wasn't going to use my degree for anything. It's like,
That's crazy.
good Lord, I have nothing to do with my life. And I was not in a good place, like mentally or physically. And it was your AFC too. We went
cool.
and watched, and like I was driving home. I'm like, you know what? I wonder what my walkout song could be.
Hey.
And then mom was actually looking for a gym for my brother to try. She's like, hey, they've got a class going on tonight. I want to go try it. I went and I fell in love with it, and I have yet. I'm still in love with it. Like it's got its ups and downs, but I can't imagine my life without it now.
No, dude, it's a hard thing. That's something people don't understand. So for people at home that don't understand, and it gave me chills even thinking the question. But explain the itch. Explain that itch, man, because people don't get that. People that haven't felt that itch, people that haven't decided to, hey, I'm going to do that, they don't know what that itch is. Tell them a little about that itch.
So for me, at least, it's even if I were to stop competing, which I don't plan on it, training, it just makes me a better person all the way around. And I don't want to be a person where I just live day to day and I don't know what to do. Like I feel stuck. MMA gives me something to look forward to. Like it makes me feel better mentally and physically. Like it just makes me an all around better person. And when I compete, it's like putting that to the test. It's like, okay, how much have I improved? Like, do I see progress? Like, how much farther can I go with it?
I dig it. The answer was great. Keeps you from sitting there and biting your nails. What What was the first sport you competed in?
I can't remember if it was
Like at a high level, because I know
high
you've done
level.
a lot of stuff.
Track and field. So I did basketball all the way up until 10th grade of high school, and then I started track and field at 7th grade. But I was more of a defensive player on the basketball team. I couldn't, I had no hand-eye coordination
Yeah,
really.
yeah. Yeah,
And
no,
then so I stopped that and shifted straight to track and field, and I did that all the way through 4-year bachelor's degree.
I dig it. So when did you realize, okay, I'm a pretty good competitor. I can compete with people. Maybe not win every time, but I'm gonna compete. I'm gonna fight tooth and nail to do good. When did you figure that out? Was that basketball without the hand-eye coordination? Was that track and field where like maybe some lady is more athletic than you? When did you go, dude? I can compete. What made you realize I can compete with people?
I honestly don't really know the answer to that question. It's just sports have just always been a part of my life, and quitting doesn't sit well with me. So
I
like
got it.
I will push until I'm doing the best I can.
I like it. I like that answer, man. Competing is hard. Everyone doesn't have a second and third gear, and that's one thing that I always thought. Trevor had, and that's one thing I always thought you had. Uh, there's a second gear. We got to turn up a little bit,
Yeah.
and I think that's very cool. So you started training. Was Jeff the first coach that you had as far as MMA and kickboxing goes?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Tell us a little bit about meeting Jeff. Well, no. What were your thoughts when you first walked in? Were you like, man, they're in here doing Tai Chi, or like, give us the whole thing? What was your thought process? Well, your mom said, hey, there's a gym.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, we're gonna go. What do you think it is, and then what do you get when you meet Jeff?
I honestly didn't know what to expect. I didn't even know anything about MMA. I didn't know it was a thing
Yeah, yeah.
until I walked in that gym. I was like, okay, I'll see what it's all about. And I think that very first day, y'all were doing jujitsu, and I tried it out.
Slow day on jiu-jitsu, man.
Tried it out, and I was like, okay, there's something to this. It makes you think.
Yeah,
It's not just you go out there and try to beat somebody up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of it too. But
oh, for sure.
I think the second day we did boss rounds with the abs in between and stuff, all that like bunny hops and whatever.
That was wild.
That was brutal.
Yeah,
especially with how out of shape I was at the time. But yeah, no, I was like, dude, this is challenging. I love it. Like, I've always been one to not really back down from a challenge. Kind of, I don't know. There's something about it. Somebody telling me I can't do something makes me want to do it more.
So I've got a buddy. I think I'm going to be the president in 2028. I'm pretty sure. Like, it sounds stupid. I know it sounds stupid to say out loud, but I'm pretty sure, Bonnie, 2028, I'm going to be the president. We're done working on the cabinet. We're doing everything because I know, like, as president, there's really nothing that I can bring to the table short of people I know and things they can bring to the table, right? I'm pretty sure in 2028 I'm going to be the president. And my buddy told me the other day, he said, "You're never going to be the president." And he says it every time I see him and we talk about it. It's Tyler. It's Tyler.
Okay, yeah.
He says, Sam, you're never going to be the president. And I'm like, Tyler, the fact that you're saying that is making me so angry and putting the biggest chip on my shoulder that I'm going to show you, buddy. He said, will you show me, bud? And I said, you're not getting an invite to the White House. You're not getting one. No Tyler Perea. We'll outlaw everything he does. But no, I do understand someone telling me I can't do something. That fires me up. When I got to fight the honey badger, in Tennessee, and everybody's like, dude, that cat's gonna smoke you out. I was so fired up. Even Greg picked against me, and then I ended up getting co-main event that night. And then all his people was there, and I was like, I'm gonna smoke you, boy, in front of everybody. I was so
like, just watch me.
Like, how are you gonna tell me I can't do it? Why? Because I dropped the ball a lot. Oh man, if every fight would have been not doing a ton of shows and trying to help with everything, and everyone would have said, hey, you can't beat that guy, I'd have been like, okay. I'd have been fired up anyway.
Yeah.
So now you get to class. What are your you do the boss? What are your mom's thoughts on it? What is she thinking about it?
Oh, she loved it. I mean, she did point karate and stuff like that when she was growing up. So she never thought one of her kids would ever get into it. And I guess it kind of reminded her of when she did it. And so she's like, this is awesome. I get to be part of this again. Like, I can watch my kid go through what I did. It's like,
that's cool. Now, with your mom watching and liking it and being happy for you and stuff, so when you, and I think the next part's important, and like again, we're gonna touch on a lot of stuff, but with you fighting the way you did, it was and still do, it's never like a it's never a tentative thing. At some point, we can almost bank we're gonna get some fireworks, right?
Yeah.
So, just for people at home, what does your mom do for a living?
Oh, she's a elementary middle school counselor.
Elementary,
Yeah.
middle school counselor. So she just, if kids have trouble and she just talks to them. How does that work? What is that?
I'm not sure. I know she's over like testing and stuff too.
Okay. Well, it doesn't sound aggressive.
Oh no.
I don't feel like you got whooped a lot as a child.
Well.
I mean, so you said that you
So-
didn't deserve.
No. There was this one time I did do something. I can't remember what it was, but like I was getting whooped and I turned around, I looked at her, I was like, that didn't hurt. She looks at me, she's like, I can make it hurt. I'm like, nope.
Please
Nope,
don't.
I'm
Please
good.
don't. Oh, dude, I be whooping my kids' butt sometimes, and I ain't had to whoop them here lately. But like, they're insane. You hear them like that, dang, dang, dang. What's going on? They are an absolute. Oh God, look at this size difference. Who you got?
Crap.
Who you got? Who do you got?
See, that's where the looks can be deceiving. Sometimes
Yeah.
the smaller guys pretty freaking slick and
No,
fast.
there's good small guys, but that's a 20-pound difference. I'm gonna take the big guy just because. So your mom, and you can keep watching while I'm talking to you. You've had plenty of experience fighting and talking to people, and then look back anytime you want to. I'm gonna take the big guy. That guy's huge.
Wait, do they not have weight classes in one?
I think they do, but also I think maybe they do some open stuff, or that guy just had an insanely beautiful weight cut. That guy cut the best amount of weight of all time.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
See,
So
that smaller guy's quick though.
oh yeah. So I took Ryan to I don't remember. I took Ryan and Drew to
I think I saw that. They competed recently.
yeah, dude, they did great. Considering we only train in the grass.
Yeah.
They did great. They did great. Drew won by second round TKO. Ryan kicked a guy in the head, ate dude up for a little while. He
Yeah.
just got subbed in the second, but we're pretty sure that guy did not weigh 135 or even 145
Yeah.
pounds. Not to say anything about their athletic commission. We're just pretty sure that their scales about 20 pounds off because this guy was big compared to Ryan. Now, granted, Ryan's tall, but the guy was about the same height as Ryan and like built bigger than me. So like, what are we talking about? What are we really talking about?
Oh yeah, dude, looks can be deceiving sometimes.
Yeah,
It's like, there's no way they
he-
weighed that much for that little. It's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Well, no, he
I
just
guess they did.
carries his weight different.
Yeah.
He's got 20 pounds in his ass. That's
Yeah.
Oh, dude, little guy's gonna eat him up. So now, during before the Ansley fight, no one picked you to beat Ansley, but one person did. Do you know who did?
I think you told me you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Not necessarily to beat her. And here's what I mean by that. Every and look, we can say whatever we want to. Everyone's thoughts was Ansley competes a lot. She looks very mean, right? And Bonnie's just, hey, hi guys, hey, what's going on? That's not how you sound, but that's what the general consensus was. And I told everybody that listen, I said, well, here's what y'all are missing. And like, because I do have an eye for stuff. Now, did I think you were going to be like fighting number one in the state, good, things like that? I don't know, right? That's not my job yet. I just met you. My job is, can we get some smoke out of them, right?
Yeah.
And so I was sitting there and I told him, I said, well, I said, the one thing y'all are missing, I said, is Bonnie's been competing since she was like 4 years old, right? Practice is going to be practice. Her personality outside of practice is going to be her personality outside of practice. What y'all are missing is game day. Game day is going to be different, man.
Yeah.
Game day is going to be weird. Game day, she's going to cut the switch on. Whether she does great or not, she's going to go out there and compete because that's what game day is for. And sure enough, man, got you a knockout first round. A lot of people don't know, but we got a noise complaint that day, right? So we're having, and for you at home that don't know, talking to you guys. So we're at the show. Bonnie's fight comes out. Get a big pop when you came out, right? Because how do you know so many people, first off? How do you know all these people?
I don't know.
It's Bonnie. Yeah. And so Bonnie's fight starts. Ansley does come out. Ansley's a competitor too now, but that was like her first MMA fight, I think.
Yeah, she said afterwards she told me she'd only had I think 6 or 8 weeks of striking.
Yeah. Super sweet girl, super awesome competitor, fun to watch. She comes out, she looks angry and aggressive. Bonnie comes out, hey, we're gonna do fighting. And the fight starts. Ansley takes down, looks rough for Bonnie for a second. You know, you can tell people are getting antsy.
Oh yeah, no, if she had let if she hadn't to let go of one of those arm bars, I would have been.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So everybody's like everybody's kind of getting antsy, you know, corners like, dang, that's really what we didn't want at all. The fans that are educated, like, that's really what we didn't want at all. And
Oh,
then
I remember they drilled into my head going up into that fight. If she tries to stay on the ground, it's like some people get too into the fight, they just like fall into a guard or whatever. And there's one point in that fight I remember, or two, that like she goes down, she just stays on her back, and I go in and I'm like, okay, no, they told me not to.
yeah,
So I stand back up. It's like come up to where I'm comfortable.
come up here, man.
Mhm.
And so all of a sudden Bonnie gets a TKO or a KO in the, is it first or second?
TKO, very last few seconds of the first. Honestly, the ref
They did.
maybe could have let it go to the second round.
So if we're talking about, all right, we're gonna get to that in a minute. So Bonnie wins, crowd loses their minds. A few minutes later, we had cops working there. A few minutes later, the cops come to the front. Different cops, different people, and they're sitting there talking to the police. And I'm like, I'm just walking. I'm trying to get my stuff done. And they call me over there, and I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm working. They're like, yeah, you've got to keep things quiet in here. I said, what on earth are you talking about? I said, people are fighting in here. And then they said, well, we got to call next door, and there's houses next door by Katie's Catfish and houses behind the Coliseum in Rainsville. Someone had called in and said we were being too loud. They thought something crazy was going on. They drinking liquor and being rowdy. We didn't have no liquor. We ain't got no liquor. They
We
just
were at
telling
half
them, hey,
capacity because of COVID too.
get out of here. Get out of here, Willie. I think you're probably right. That was
It was supposed to be earlier and then it got postponed.
okay. I think you're probably right. And that was one of the louder pops we ever got. You mentioned it, so we're gonna. He did win. Big guy did win.
Oh.
We can't be surprised, but little guy fought. Look how tired the big guy is. But so you mentioned it. The refs in Alabama, and I'm not asking you to crap on nobody or nothing. Like you said, they probably could have let it go to the second round. How do you think the refing is here compared to, say, when you fight in Tennessee? Is there a difference?
Oh, it's been a little while. I mean, the refs in Alabama,
They're very polite,
yeah,
very
I mean,
knowledgeable.
they are knowledgeable. They know what they're doing. I think what it was both of our debuts. He said that she wasn't intelligibly defending, or she looked away. She was starting to shy away, which I try to go back and watch, and now that I have more experience, it's like maybe, but it was our first fight, so
Yeah.
I can kind of see.
So for me, I'll be the bad guy then. I like Cody. I like Michael Bowe. I like them both, man. But I think when you compare them reffing to Luke out of Tennessee, Luke
Wilson.
Wilson, the way Luke let Drew and that other kid fight at Rainsville, we'll never get. Our state told us we can never have youth kickboxing matches here again because of that fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he just let them fight. It wasn't nothing crazy. Nobody got dropped to death. They were just two kids throwing down that they trained hard to throw down and do. And they said because of that one, we won't have any more here. And that's why all our people get sent to Tennessee that are youth, and Mississippi and Kentucky and really anywhere else that allows people to do the work of their job,
Yeah.
But I think there's people that breathe down their neck, because I've had Cody come to me, like before Greg and Trevor fought. Cody came to me. It might have been Michael, but I'm pretty sure it was Cody. And Cody Easton said to me, he said, hey, man, and even now, like when we used to have cards, he would come to me and he would always ask, hey, which ones are the ones I need to watch out for? What's the bangers? Who's going to fight? And I'd point, that guy, you can let him fight. I said, let them all fight. I said, but those guys are going to be tooth and, like Trevor and Greg, they're going to be tooth and nail. Bonnie's going to go tooth and nail. So-and-so is going to go tooth and nail. You got to let them fight, man. And there's just some stuff I think they stop too quick because I think the way our athletic commission works is they don't.
Yeah, the Alabama one, they are very strict. I understand the sport can be brutal.
Yeah,
it really can.
But while you're getting your answer out, they're also letting a lot of really crappy matchups happen in the state.
Yeah,
all the time. So go ahead.
As far as reffing goes, I guess it all comes down to certain people's perspectives. Like maybe that ref has like
Safely.
Okay, yeah, it's like maybe they think that they're still intelligibly like defending themselves, or that they know it's a higher level fight, so they can let it go further.
I get that. Like when Manly, I think Michael Bowe reffed me and Manly. Manly was jacked. hey, Manly was jacked, bro.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? I could have smoked Manly if I just calmed down. I just calmed down. But like I hit you pretty hard right off. Everyone I've ever met's here, you know.
Yeah. You had a
Oh
lot of pressure on you. Like that. It was
God.
your own promotion.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I wanted to win that fight so
I
bad.
know you did.
My granny was cage side. I swear, I promise you, Bonnie. I'm a cool, classy guy for the most part. I would have jumped over that cage. I'd have kissed my grandma on her mouth, and I would have ran in the middle of Rainsville. Wah! Lost my mind. Manly's a good competitor. Hats off to that guy. Uh, was it stopped a hairly? Yeah, but like a hair, and to the sense that like uh, Cody, Michael Bowe came up to me after he said, "Hey man, I know you wanted to fight and stuff, yada yada." I said, "Nah, man, we're good. Thank you for not letting him dink my head
Part
up
of me
any worse."
wonders if maybe unconscious bias, depending on how people look, goes into play with reffing too.
I can see that. I'm
Like,
oh,
like
so you're saying
they're
you saying I'm
no,
not
no, no,
jacked,
no, no.
Bonnie? Are you saying I'm not jacked like
That's not
Manly,
what I
Bonnie?
meant. But I mean, just
No, I can see me being
it's like me being more timid and Ainsley being
yeah.
more like
Yeah. Well, I
or
can
stuff like that people aren't they don't consciously do, but in the back
yeah.
of their head they're like, okay, maybe they can't take a
Yeah.
hit as much as
So I'm gonna say what you're trying to say, but you're too nice to say. I'm built like a jellyfish, regardless of weight.
no,
And
no, no,
Manly's built like a brick
no,
crap
but
house.
that comes with weight loss and like
Yeah.
some people have like they don't have a loose skin or whatever, and you can see the muscles more defined. Not that you weren't in shape.
Oh yeah,
It's just that it's
I didn't
less
like that guy.
visible.
I didn't like that guy.
Yeah.
Nobody looks like that guy. That's a rare thing. Caleb, he's Perea,
Oh,
skinny all the time, but just put your shirt on, Caleb. Stop it. No, I dig what you're saying for sure, and I can see that. I can see like Manly dinking my head off the ground, and Michael Bowe going, "Looks kind of awful. That looks kind of bad." So, Sam looks like he cut a lot of weight. And I like Michael Bowe. I like Cody Eason. I think they're great at their job when they are allowed to work. You mentioned the athletic commission thing. Touch on that here. What have you seen from Tennessee to here? What's the you fought Tennessee? Where else?
Tennessee, Alabama, and West Virginia.
Okay, give us Tennessee and Virginia compared to Alabama. Give us a little, just a hair, just your experience.
So, it just seems like the rules are so much more lax in West Virginia and Tennessee. Like, yes, there are still safety precautions and like everybody's still covered and all that. But it just seems like Alabama's a little bit excessive for regional.
Mm.
I understand maybe all those regulations if it's higher level pro, but like we're just trying to give people a show and
And
be the best
experience.
competitors and have the best experience we can. And Alabama just makes that really freaking hard. Really
So
hard.
They took all my money. They took I put a so like for people that don't know what I did the first show we did my tax return. I have 4 kids, 3 kids at the time, 2 kids at the time. You can do the math. We did the tax return and we put that. I asked Vicky if she'd let me try something. She said, yeah. I said, we could buy a car or something stupid. I said, let me try something. She said, try something. I said, all right, it's fine. So, and not a great look right away. It went good as far as the crowds go, the friendships that I really did make, things like that. And then, but every show, tax return or not, sponsor help or not, every single show was starting behind. We were like, so we got to sell this many tickets to even break even and pay everybody that's going to get paid. And that was the stress of it. That was one stress of it. And then the second stress was the state, just how awful they made it.
I mean, that's not to say that they're not nice or good people. It's just to say that the regulations could be looked at and reformed.
I'm going to say the people that we had after Jody were not nice or good people. They didn't care to let me do the work.
See, I didn't deal with them directly.
Yeah.
I just know that it just seemed like there was a lot of rules. Like
wallet in my you have to look. I don't know where my wallet is. My wife's looking for my wallet. She needs that card. Needs that debit card. Oh, I'm not sure, Mom. Maybe on your dresser. But they would have times of being nice and polite to me, and then they would have times where so near the end, once they realized I was getting upset with how much money I was spending and not getting to make any, and how rude they would be to some of our people and things like that. I started saying stuff, and they didn't really like that. So they would start calling my show to my face, KFC. And I was like, I'm pretty cool. But like if you were to talk mess about my kid or my business or like a teammate,
Yeah.
something that I've worked hard on, we're gonna have a hard time, right? I'm not gonna be your friend because like, it's rude. It's something that I put a lot of time, effort, love into, and they would call it the KFC, and then they would go even farther and start calling it AFL, and I'm like, y'all,
So that's a different
y'all MFers
emotion.
know who we are, right? We're the biggest show in the state right now. We're competing with some of the biggest shows around the state. In Tennessee, we're competing with B2. We're competing with Aries, and people can say whatever they want to. We were neck and neck for a second. The difference is in Tennessee, they can work. They're allowed to work. We were not allowed to work. Would I have loved to put on more shows instead of one like every 4 or 5 months? Yes. Oh, God, yes. But someone show me where that 20 grand is going to come from.
Yeah.
And like, that's why I had hair when you met me. I had a head full of hair. I was fat, man. And, but the stress of it, getting everything together, trying to make the numbers matter, make sense anyway. Dude, it was a lot, man. Kenny messaged me the other day. He said, "Sam, I watched you pour your heart and soul into something, blah blah blah. It was very sweet and polite stuff." And I'm like, I got to think about it, like I really did, man. I love fights, love them so much. But now, like, I try not to even go to shows. I'm just like, nah,
Yeah.
I don't really want to be there.
Kind of, I guess,
Yeah,
seems like it might be heartbreaking for
it
you. It's
is,
like
man. It is.
I want to do this again.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't have any money. It breaks my heart. Tears me down. Like when I took the guys to fight the other day, I was going through it on the way there. I was happy to be going to a fight and cornering my guys, and that was very cool.
Yeah.
But also like it's an emotional thing for me. People think it was just a money thing. Well, if I was making money, why'd I quit?
Yeah.
Why did I quit if I was making money? Why did I have a job and another job if I was making money? No, I wouldn't have quit if I was making money, Bonnie.
Yeah.
I'd still do it, and I'd talk about it too. You know how it is. You saw them stacks of money. You saw some of them stacks of money. You also saw them shrink, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Paying fighters and paying commission.
Oh,
And,
dude, it's insane. So, you had your first fight with Ansley. When did we got out of fights for a minute? What do you do? What's your job?
dude, I've had a few different jobs from from currently I work at a place called Southern Champion Tray.
Okay.
We produce food grade um, paperboard boxes, like the donut boxes and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Okay.
We make those.
In Chattanooga.
Mhm.
Now, but you have a degree also. What was
Yes,
your,
I have a bachelor's degree in biology.
So how do you not have a job in biology? I'm not in a mean way. It's awesome that you have a job, period. But I'm confused on you spent the time, the money, whatever you did, you got a degree. How
Yeah.
do you not have a job in that field?
I originally had wanted to be a veterinarian.
Okay.
Then I worked at one over some summers, and I was in the room when they had to put one down, and I got to watch some surgeries and stuff. I'm like, dude,
This is
I know
not me.
I know myself. I love animals. I really do. But at the same time, it would freaking kill me if one died under my knife on the table or if I had to put several down. Like I didn't think I could emotionally handle it.
I can see that. Are
And
there
then
Go ahead.
biology is such just a broad subject almost to really do that much with it. You almost have to get a master's. I mean, there are several things you could do with just the bachelor's, but some of the classes I really enjoyed, like cancer biology. I took that class specifically because my grandmother died of a brain tumor,
I didn't know that.
and it just helped me kind of understand it more.
Phew, that's wild, man. So you and your granny were close.
Yeah, well, she lived in Indiana. We visited as much as we could, but
That's Scylla.
yeah,
That's Scylla. Now we named her Priscilla. Do you know why?
No.
Look at her. She ain't nothing but a hound dog. Yeah. We call her Scylla for short. We call her all kinds of stuff. So you said your grandmother lived where?
Indiana.
Dude, my granddad's from Indiana. What part? Indianapolis?
West Lafayette. It's not that far.
Okay, my granddad's from Indianapolis. What did she do there?
She was a psychologist.
That runs in the family a
It
little
does.
bit.
I'm not gonna lie, it has interested me
I think that
to
would be a
know
cool
how
job.
people operate.
I think that would be a cool job. I think that would
But-
be a great job to do.
So I'm just not great with actually dealing with people. So I'm just like,
Like, hey, look, can you stop? Can you just stop crying?
It's like awkwardly, like I want to, I want to give you a hug. I want to pat your shoulder, but like I'm not
Yeah,
comfortable.
I'm really not feeling it. You almost had me breaking down earlier about the fights. Oh, my heart. Oh, no, no, no. I wouldn't cry on a podcast. No, I would, I guess, if I had to. But so like, you were with us for a while. Jeff ended up moving. You decided to move to Chattanooga. Tell us a little bit about training with Billy. What's Billy like? What's that gym like and those people?
Dude, Billy's he can have a temper. It's
Yeah.
calmed down quite a bit. He's a really super nice guy. He's knowledgeable. Um, mm, he did have a smaller gym when I first started,
Go lay down.
and he's kind of expanded a little bit. And he's really done a lot. He's put his heart and soul into stuff like you did, and I guess that's kind of like where I like to be. And I like the smaller gym environments anyway. It just feels like, for me personally, I can learn better when it's kind of more, not necessarily one-on-one, but like the coach can pay more attention to you. It's not like smaller things go through the cracks because there's so many different people have to watch do technique and stuff.
I would rather, if I was to go back and train again and like try to make a run, I'd want to be in a smaller field. I'd want to make sure I was getting the attention I need, because like fighting's weird, man.
Fighting takes a lot out of you.
I could be around a lot of people and do jiu-jitsu. Like, okay, cool. Yeah. I got you. Fighting though? No, man. It's you need time. You need private lessons. You need them to come to you during the things. I get what you're saying. I dig that. What's Billy like as a coach? He's smoking y'all out?
Dude, he whips our ass. Yeah. No, he's actually got a Muay Thai fight into January.
Really does?
He's putting up the wrestling for a little bit, trying to work on his striking.
That's cool. Now, is he getting time with Jeff?
Yes, Jeff comes to his gym every Monday, and he does a class.
That'll be nasty if he keeps that time with Jeff. So, what about Jeff, man? How did Jeff? You're still getting time with Jeff. How did he kind of change what kickboxing meant to you? Because me, when I first heard kickboxing or karate and something, I was like, come on, man. We've all seen Bloodsport. Leave me alone. But Jeff's literally the guy from Bloodsport. Jeff's the dude from The Matrix. Jeff's Agent Smith, you know. He'll kick you in the head and then kind of like laugh about it. Tell us a little bit about Jeff Powell.
Dude, Jeff Powell's awesome. I think he's been one of the main reasons I don't know, not many people know about this, but I, at one point, did actually consider not competing.
Yeah.
But he's always believed in me. He sees something in me like you did before that first fight, and a few other people do see it. I do get in my own head sometimes.
Easy to do, man.
Yeah, super easy, especially like with injuries or nagging stuff. But he's been awesome. Super knowledgeable. Like I said, when I first started, I didn't know anything about MMA. He's just kind of like developed the sport with me and let me kind of figure things out on my own, but also like guided me.
Yeah. And
when I first started, I was like, man, if I could never have Jeff, if I for some reason couldn't have Jeff in my corner, I don't know if I'd like he's one of those. He's a mentor, really.
He's good. He's good people. I think he's a genius. His name in my phone.
Oh yeah, super genius.
He is. He's the nerdiest genius in the world. He knows fights, man. For people that don't know, Jeff Powell got Trevor Peek to the UFC. Jeff Powell was Sid Wheeler's main sparring partner and pad holder for a while. He works with Bonny Wagener. He works with Mary Rosenbeck. He works with everyone at Billy's place. He works with a lot of people. Stephen Owens and them, yeah. And everyone that he works with, whether they win or lose, they look a million times better.
Well, he tells everybody all the time, like, I don't train winners or losers. I train some bad motherfuckers.
That's what he says. That's what he says. Yeah. And he says, we're going to send them to the hospital. He says, win or lose is irrelevant. Mm-hmm. They're going to know they had a rough time. And I'm like, I dig it, man. He's good energy. One time, you know how like you hug everybody before fights and stuff? Yeah. Everybody was giving me my hugs and stuff. And I went to give Jeff a hug and he said, I'll hug you after. I only hug bad motherfucker. And I was like, oh, man, you did me like that. And no, he didn't mean nothing by it. He's just trying to get me right. And like you said, it's a head getting your head. Tell us a little bit about that. How easy is it to get in your brain? Why do you think going to fight someone is so easy to be like, man?
Because at the end of the day, it's all on you.
Oh, man.
No matter how much you put in with the team, how much they help you prepare, at the end of the day, it's you're the one that's locked in the cage.
I get stage fright.
Yeah, I mean, really, you're there in front of a whole bunch of people. Um, whether or not you prepared enough is always in the back of your mind.
Did
Like for
I do
me,
good?
it's like even though I'm doing a lot and like I pushed myself so hard this last fight, I probably overdid it. And then like I tweaked my shoulder and was like, I was massively in my head. I know for a freaking fact I'm better than what I showed.
Yeah, that's the hard thing to deal with. I could have done this, this, and this better. I'm so much better. Keep going. I'm listening.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just the sometimes self doubt creeps in and you just can't get past it by the time fight night comes around. And then if you don't believe you can win 99% of the time, you
You're
don't.
not going to. I know I trained really hard. How hard that girl trained. How hard they train. Oh, man.
It's like, okay, I'm pushing myself 6-7 days a week, 2 or 3 times a day. What if they're doing just a tiny bit more?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing, man. And I try to tell these guys, and you've seen how it is around here. It's real hit or miss. You'll have all these people show up, want to train, want to be on TV, want to be. I'm gonna be in UFC, man.
Yeah.
They have one hard day. Do we ever see them again here? No. It's the
It's
strangest thing.
surprise. Well, not. I guess it's not really that surprising. How many people come and go just in the 4 or 5 years that
Oh,
I've been in it?
good God, man.
Like, wow.
Here's what I think happens is they realize it's hard.
They realize just how much it takes.
Yeah.
How much sacrificing you have to do it.
And dude, I tell everybody the same thing that's ever came. Like when I had the place before, like I just can't leave. I got a wife and 4 kids. I'm not
Yeah.
going to drive to Chattanooga and Huntsville every day. I already have enough time away from my wife and kids. For 4 years when I was doing the shows, I lost a lot of time. I missed 4 years. I missed a lot of growth. I missed a lot of not necessarily birthday parties, but if you're half asleep or you're sitting there trying to make fights happen on
You're
the
not fully
birthday
there.
party, yeah, you're
Yeah.
not there. I missed all this.
Lights are on, but nobody's home.
I missed a lot of stuff, dude.
Yeah.
So I can't just move. So I did want to keep the gym going when Jeff signed everything over to me, let me know that I could teach and things like that. And I did try to keep that going. And we would have days with like 15, 20 people on the mats. Dude, we got it. Man, it's going so great. And I would tell everybody when they came in, like, look, you ain't got to work yourself to death. Don't try to keep up with nobody because there's going to be people in here that's going to outwork you any day of the week. Just show up and try to finish the workouts at whatever pace you need.
Yeah.
I make very clear to say that. Don't try to keep up. Don't watch nobody.
That's something I've kind of learned. You can't give 100% every day you're in there.
Not possible.
Sometimes your 100% for that day is just making it through the workout.
Amen.
Sometimes that 100% of the day for the day is, man, you can come in there, you can smash, you're feeling great, you're doing everything right. Next day, you feel like hammered dog shit.
I don't even want to go.
You're like, I can't get anything right, but
Yeah,
you're there, you showed up, you're not just sitting on the couch. You're improving no matter how you feel about it.
I like that. I dig that a lot, and I agree 100%. But these people would show up, and I would say that to them, and they would say, well, I'm going to try to keep up, man, because I'm going to be that guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to be that man. Like, okay, well, I mean, you do whatever you want, but don't.
Yeah.
Just don't. They try. One day, you don't see them ever again. Like, what are you talking about? Just show up and be a good teammate.
Yeah.
Be there. Well, I can't spar with those guys. Yeah, you can. Punch
Just
at their face.
because-
Work their defense.
Even if they are getting the better of you, you're still improving.
No, dude.
Like, you got to think, how much more experience do they have than you?
A lot.
Like,
You know who I wasn't okay with me getting better experience at?
Who?
Sid. Ever.
I've heard a lot of horror stories about
Sid is a terrifying person. So, do you have a horror story that you've heard right off or no? Because I've got one.
I know. I think didn't you and Trevor and them go down?
Yeah.
Y'all got knocked out.
Yeah, we all got knocked out.
Yeah.
Me, Trevor, and Corey back to back.
Yeah.
Trevor got cleaned out. I got knocked out and cried. Corey got dropped with a head kick. It was all head kicks.
Yeah.
And we were doing, I was so tore up.
It's the ego a little
I,
bit.
oh God, I was so crying about it. I was like, my kids are at the house. I was tore up, son. I was a mess. I heard he knocked out David Robbins in front of kids class. David Robbins, him sparring in front of the kids jiu-jitsu class, and he kicks him in the head. That's not a normal thing to do, Sid. And I like Sid. That's a guy that I think should have been on TV, that I think still could be on TV if he decided to hunker down. But it's so hard. He's making money selling houses now. He's got to find some way to get hungry again. But with him seeing Trevor on TV, that should make him know, be like, hang on, because he's younger than Trevor. or Trevor's age. It's one or the other because I know he's younger than me.
I've never actually fully got to meet him. I've been in, I mean, the
He's
same
like
room as him, but I've never
he's
actually had
like
conversations with
25
him.
years old, or I might be lying a little, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. I know he's younger than me. I know it.
Yeah.
And being in the same room with him and knowing he's younger than me and can beat the hell out of me sucks. I'm like, tell you what, see you.
It's like, speaking of that, it's like, man, I wish I could have found the sport sooner.
Oh,
Like, I wish I
God.
could have started sooner. And then I realized
Oh.
how new women's MMA actually is. I'm like, oh,
Well,
well, I got started at a pretty good time.
yeah, well, the UFC's 30 years old.
Yeah.
Women's MMA in the UFC is like 6 years old.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, I wish I would have done wrestling in high school, but like, being 30 years old
Yeah.
and like seeing the development, it's like, man, I wish I could have done this sooner, but there was no opportunity to do it sooner.
No, and that's what people don't see. That they think, oh, it can never be me. It can never be my kid. I don't want my kid to do that. You want your kid to play football and get a concussion? They're going to get a concussion one way or the
Yeah.
other. Anything bad can happen in any sport. What are we really talking about? But I think a big part of that is fighting is a poor man's sport, and people look at it as kind of lowbrow sometimes, and especially around here where we are. This is about
Yeah.
how many churches is here?
Man, 150. Really.
Yeah, we got 150. My Jesus is better than your Jesus. It is not. Jesus loves everybody, but our church bigger now. Just calm down. But it's a lot of churches here, and again, that's why why it was so hard, I think, to get sponsors for the show, because again, we don't really want to be involved in that.
Yeah.
That's violence. That's violence. Football's good on
Pretty
Sunday.
much any contact sport is going to be violent, no
I
matter how
know.
much pads you have on. Like, there
You
are
might-
safety rules, no
Yeah.
matter if like it's just 4-ounce gloves or full football.
What do you think about now? Speaking of contact sports, what are you thinking about the slap fights here lately? What are you thinking about that? That's not a sport, right?
It's basically just like,
So, like, Will, would Will have ever lost at slap fights ever?
well, Sparks.
Yeah. Will gets to slap first. Does he ever lose?
Probably not.
Whoa, God.
But no, it's
Whoa.
more like kind of like a dick measuring contest. Like,
Uh-huh.
how big of a hit you can take without going out.
I'm not going to fall asleep. I don't know my kid name.
No, but like, it really only takes 7 pounds of pressure to knock somebody out.
It's crazy. And like, they sold it to the Nevada State Athletic Commission. They're like, look, dude, this is a real sport. They're going to stand there and slap each other, bro.
I think it's just because it's kind of like a disrespectful move to slap somebody. So I think that's the intrigue.
Okay. I mean, I enjoy hearing it, but like seeing someone get slapped to sleep, I'm just like, that's not a sport. That's not sport. It's funny. It's cool. I get it.
Yeah.
That's not a sport. Now, imagine trying to get sponsors for that around here. Oh, what are they going to
I
do?
think a selling point was like, you got a grievance? Who can slap each other silly?
Yeah.
Like,
They're just going to slap each other to death, man. Now, our state said that will never happen here, which good.
Yeah.
That's one good choice you've made, one good thing you've done. But you still got to do better. Because, like, so, like, do you ever see any cards around Alabama that were like AFC cards used to be? Like, big, crazy, that wild energy?
haven't really been to much.
I haven't. I don't.
Here in Alabama, because they just make it so hard to put a show on.
Yeah, and I don't hear it like that anymore. I don't hear that energy now. Everyone always asks me, why wouldn't I go to Tennessee? I don't live in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Why would I? Tennessee's good. Tennessee's got Aries. Tennessee had Valor. Tennessee has B2.
Yeah.
Tennessee's fine. I don't have any. I never had any desire to go to Tennessee and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I just didn't. It was never a thought. I was like, dude, we want to make the sport right here where we live. We've got competitors here that are doing great and can sell tickets and want to be on TV. I want those guys. I live here. I live right here. I'd like having a show 2 minutes from my house.
It's like, why not stay local if you can?
I know. I had no desire ever to go to Tennessee. The one time that it even came up as a possibility, I was talking to Trevor and he said, "Hey, you need to call Matt Harris." And this probably ruffles some feathers depending on who's hearing it, but like that's me saying it, not you. And so I called Matt and I said, "Hey, man, Trevor had mentioned that y'all were gonna start a show." And he said, "Yeah, man." I said, "Okay, great. I would like to throw my hat into the ring as the promoter." I said, "Just because, one, I know y'all are going to do a good job at it. I know what kind of job I can do at it. I would still like to do my shows, and then eventually, we match them both fair, and eventually we do one big one kind of in the middle somewhere."
Yeah.
And he said, that all sounds great. I said, "I'd love to help blow it up, make it a really big deal." And he said, "That sounds great." I said, "One thing I'm not going to do, and what I'm going to say is," I said, "I'm not going to feed anybody." I said, I'm not doing it. I said, there's a different. I said, like if someone gets smoked out, yeah, we'll even them out. On the next one, we'll try to even them out. I said, but I'm not going to feed nobody just to pad nobody's records. And Matt said to me, he was like, well, I'd really like to, get our guys. He didn't say easy matchups, and I don't want that to come out that way. He said, I just would really like for them to be matched really fair, is what he said.
Yeah.
Really fair. And I said, it would be really fair. It'll be 50-50. It'll be a 50-50 chance that they win, a 50-50 chance that they don't. I said, and the cream will rise to the top. And I've always believed that. I've always believed that.
Cream will rise to the top.
Oh, yeah. I've always believed that. And that's why we matched everybody the way we did on them AFC shows. That's why they felt like they did. That's why it was like a big, crazy, wild energy, man.
Yeah.
Because no one. Now, Austin knocked out that one kid. But just before that, who'd he fight? He fought Jose just before that. So, yeah, we're going to even you out. It's not all going to be just life and death situations. But if you put the best people against the best people, people's complaint is, well, everybody's not going to make it. We want all our guys to make it. Dude, everybody ain't supposed to make it. Everybody ain't supposed to make it to the big show. They're not.
Yeah.
Never in a million years is everyone supposed to make it to the big show. It's supposed to be the very best. It's supposed to be the cream of the crop. That's who's supposed to make it. Now, do you have to match? Do you have to match like me against Sid Wheeler every time? No. But the one time I did fight on my show, I got Trey Manley. You know what I mean? So at least it was fair-ish, right? At least it was like I didn't go out there and get me a squash match, because I had squash people try to hop in and take that fight. We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take. I was like, no way, because I preached to everybody, hey, you're gonna have hard fights, regardless. Corey's record is what it is. Every person he fought had a similar record, and Corey was competitive. Everyone wasn't a win. It was competitive.
The thing that makes matching fights hard is you don't just have to look at paper record, like numbers. You have to look at like, okay, what was the caliber of their opponent?
Yes, 100%, dude. 100%. Matching fights is insane, but like if you just read a little, you're gonna get it about right. If you just be cool. Logan Neal is a guy at Agoge, and I respect Logan and Greg Hopkins, and there's plenty of guys there I respect. I'm just telling part of the story. There's so many guys there that I respect. So many. I can't name everyone that's there. They're huge. They're growing. Their show's growing. Dude, congratulations. It's all awesome. But specifically with Greg and Logan, they fight hard fights. They take hard fights. Now, what if they never make it to the show? Okay. They're trying.
So with me personally, I said earlier, it's like I enjoy challenges.
Yes.
As far as taking hard fights, I can't see it any other way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it can be a bit of a downfall.
Yes.
When you try to take on more than your.
Well, you fought number one in the state on what, your third fight?
Yes.
Did you get knocked out?
No, it was.
Did you get subbed?
All my.
Hang on, wait. It's important. Did you get subbed? So you didn't get subbed or knocked out. So you took the number one female in Alabama. Number one. The very best one. 3 rounds. All right. The cream rises to the top, man. That's experience. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah. No, all my losses had been split decision up until this last one.
She was good, though, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, I heard really she fought Mary, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I heard. So who was that? How when you say she was good, elaborate, because people don't get it. People know Bonnie's tough as mess. Bonnie don't quit. What happened, man?
No, I had tweaked the shoulder. I had surgery on mid-July, and it got really in my head. It was hurting so bad that I, kind of put off wrestling and didn't work on that, which is something I majorly regret now. But no, it just really got in my head. She went out there and we kind of didn't prepare for what she was going to do because her record kind of made it appear that she was more stand up.
Oh, okay.
But no, Cheyenne Hall, she's a freaking beast. I can't wait to see how where she goes with this sport. Like,
that's cool, man.
I will say though, that fight was rather brutal for me.
Not your best work.
Like I said earlier, I know I'm way better than that, but at the same time, that's the first time I've most definitely lost a fight.
Yeah.
And in my head, I know I signed up for it, but my body reacted to it like the beating it was.
Okay.
So on top of that, adding injury and this past few months have been a little hard for me.
Yeah, dude.
I was finding it hard to find my way back to MMA.
Oh yeah.
And then actually what helped is I almost had a full-on anxiety attack when I watched her and Mary fight. I was there.
Oh god.
But something that really helped me work through it was I went up to her after the fight and I congratulated her. I was like, you know what? I've been up for almost 22 hours. I worked a 12-hour shift today. Like I want to come up to you. I want to say, hey, like you are a person. You're not just somebody that beat me up. It's like, congratulations. Like you deserve this. You're a freaking good
You're
fighter.
working hard,
like,
man.
I see the work you put in.
Chill bumps.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to be around you right now. I'm going to go.
Yeah,
It's like, I can't wait to see how you go with this, like how far you can go because you're going to go far. But at the same time, it's like, I need to go.
Like, that's how I feel every time I'm around Sid.
Yeah.
Every single time. Like when I was around Trevor, it was always like he's Goku, I'm Vegeta.
Mhm.
You know, like we're competing. I want to be up there with you. We were friends, you know, I want you to make it to the show. But I felt like that I could compete.
Yeah.
You know, we had good rounds. We had plenty of good rounds.
Yeah.
And I always looked at it like that. Like I'm Vegeta, he's Goku. Cool, you're the main character, but dude, I'm gonna be there nagging at you a little bit. Around Sid, I felt like you ever watch Dragon Ball Z or no?
Some of it, but not a whole lot.
Well, you know how strong the strongest people are.
Mhm.
So around Sid, I felt like a normal human in Dragon Ball
Yeah.
Z. And he was like Goku. And I was like, oh God. Not Goku. He's like the worst bad guy
Yeah.
ever. And I couldn't just like you were saying, and I haven't heard it explained like that before, but I couldn't, man. And I could have got rounds back. I could have asked for rounds
Yeah.
back. And I couldn't even grow the sack to ask for that round. You know, it was terrifying.
But that fight, all I know is there was several points in time where my vision actually started to go black, and I was like, she's gonna have to put me out. I'm not tapping.
Good God.
And I didn't know how many elbows I took to the head until I went back and watched that fight.
Good God.
Did
you cry after?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord, I cried for like a long time.
Yeah,
after.
man. Yeah.
Um,
It's emotional. How do people not understand how emotional fighting is? Even if it's just competition, it's the most emotional thing I've ever seen.
it really is.
It's like, and then y'all are cool, you know, like good
Yeah.
for you, man. It's
I think I also could have done better. That if it's like that first round, I looked at Jeff and I was like, she got me. Like I'm rocked. I stumbled into that second round.
yeah.
And
What'd Jeff say?
he was like, "You're good. You got this." And
Here's some ice on your neck, bro.
yeah,
Let's keep our hands up.
he's like, he's always told us like, I'm like, it's okay. You're not gonna win every one of them.
Mm-hmm. Always.
It's like I believe in you no matter what.
He's good people.
Gonna
Gonna make me cry. Jeff, we're gonna cry. He's good people.
Yeah, no, I do think she was a tiny bit salty. She really wanted that stoppage. She
Yeah.
said it multiple times in interviews, and she's a nice person. Don't get me wrong.
She wanted the stoppage with you,
yeah,
just because you didn't get stopped ever.
yeah.
Okay.
She was a time. She had.
Well, someone
I've
told her.
kind of looked at some of the interviews and like written and video that she's done. She doesn't mention me by name.
Yeah.
But she I think she respects Mary a little bit more just because of the experience level. Because
Okay.
she would say Mary's like, she's a good opponent. She's gonna be step up from my last fight.
That
Like
makes
I get it. I didn't have a lot of experience, and I did get my ass whooped.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not delusional. I know I did.
So when did it finish? Second, first?
It went all 3 rounds.
Okay, so she didn't get the finish.
No.
Well, I mean, she didn't finish Mary either.
Mm-mm.
So you both went 3 rounds.
No.
She thought she was going to finish you, and she didn't. So I can
Yeah.
see her being a little upset
And
about that.
it was her hometown. It was the first. I get it. I understand. Like you said, it's emotional. Like
So-
part of that is like the competitive part. For me, even if I lose, I just want to earn respect, and
Yeah.
I think I did a little bit, but I think she was a tiny bit salty.
Had to have.
I mean, I would be too. I'm not holding that against her at all. Like
No, I hate.
but like
I hate-
I can see it.
I hate Trey Manley.
Yeah, it's like, man, I hope you do good. Like you're awesome, but like, fuck you.
Yeah, like stop being this way. No, I think I hope Manley never loses again, but I know he will because like I know I could have beat him, and I think that's why he doesn't compete so much now. He had one fight after me, and he won, but it was only one fight, and it took him like a year, 6 months. And I'm not talking bad about Manley. I just think once I almost beat him, and me being built the way I was, and he being built the way he was, he never felt strong. There was one point when I elbowed him and he bowed up on me and got real strong. That was when he felt strong. But that whole fight, that's the only time he felt strong. He never felt long. He never felt like he hit that hard. It was just
I wonder.
a lot.
There's a lot that goes into it. I wonder how much like cardio he had. I wonder if he felt like he couldn't hit as hard as he could.
I think I'd have got him in the second. I think second I'd have got him, but I just couldn't calm down.
But yeah.
I got scared once I like started looking at him and feeling him. I got
that
scared.
first round I got rocked, and I think that's the first time I started getting in my head at that point. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh
dude, she
no.
rocked me.
Oh,
I'm
no.
not walking straight like
People, it's scary,
Yeah.
man. It's a scary thing. And fighting a person, like especially a pretty good, a very good trained person. It's well, I'd have done this. Do it. Go do it. Do
Yeah.
it right now. Go spar with him tomorrow. You can
Yeah.
spar with him tomorrow.
Like, it's
You
amazing
can,
just
you can
how
spar
like
with her tomorrow.
movements that much
Yeah, no.
can make or break a technique.
And she's probably training with guys all the time.
Mhm.
You train with guys when you train right. Do men punch you in the face?
See, that's where
Not for me. I'll knock the mess out of you, Bonnie.
most men. It's good to train with them, but sometimes they go a little too easy.
Yeah, I can see
Just
that.
because you're a female.
Oh, you'll find a weirdo that goes too hard.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on?
There's almost no in between. It's like
Not me. I remember that time I knocked you out and you woke up the next. No, I'm just kidding. No, me and you, like, I always try to like be cool by you because I knew, like, one, I know you're a girl, but two, I'm like, man, Bonnie's tough, and she's gonna be fighting tough people because, like, once you fought the people you fought and you're a pro now, but just fighting the way you were almost never going to be able to step down in competition. You know,
Yeah.
like they're like, no, we don't want that. Oh, she's 1-0. She's 1-1. No, we don't want that. We don't want that. It was almost always going to have to be tough people. And so I just tried to be a good teammate. What are the long-term goals for you aside from fighting?
aside from fighting?
Yeah, aside from fighting, what's something you'd like to accomplish still in your life? Oof. Like, man, Sam's a good podcaster,
He's
man.
like, God, I have to think about that.
Okay, well, while you think about that, keep thinking about that, about something you want to do outside of fighting. Tell us a little bit about your injury. What got hurt? You had a surgery. We do have flies in here. We live by a cow pasture. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
And
I just
chicken-
randomly started flying.
yeah.
I was like, oh, God.
Chicken houses.
Yeah, no. So back in early 2022, I was hiking and I was being a bit of a dumbass. I decided to go off trail and get closer to a waterfall. Well, I ended up slipping and falling.
I'm gonna go talk to God by the waterfall.
It's like, I'm going to get a great photo, I
Yeah.
still got the photo, but I
Okay.
got injured. I slipped on a rock and fell back into a tree. And
that fly's loving you. It's wanting it.
I found out later after the surgery that I had completely torn the labrum off the glenoid. And
Now, what is that?
it's the cartilage in your shoulder that holds it in socket.
Oh God.
And so it was partially dislocating.
Okay.
And so they had to go in and surgically repair it. And it was supposed to be 1 hour surgery. My mom was sitting in the waiting room freaking out because she was like, I kept seeing them wheel people out and you weren't one of them. And, an hour goes by, 2 hours goes by. It was a 3-hour surgery.
Oh God.
Total reconstruction of that shoulder. And they actually had to remove a massive bone spur and some swelling and stuff too. And, I felt good. I did about 10 months. I did a kickboxing fight. And then it was after a third 12-hour shift. And I was, exhausted from weight cut and all the work I've been putting in that camp. And I just got caught in something and it tweaked. And I was like, oh, that's not good. And then the fight made it worse. And I actually went in Monday and found out I had to have another surgery. He said it's not.
You went this
fairly
Monday?
common.
You went this Monday?
Yeah.
Oh God.
After 12 weeks of trying to rehab it to prevent surgery.
Yeah.
He said it's not. It's relatively uncommon to have another surgery, but it's not unheard of. There are several different things it could be. Could be scar tissue floating around. It could be that he didn't get the artificial labrum tightened enough. Or it could be that an anchor came loose, which is, extremely rare case that could happen.
Bionic Bonny Wagener.
Yeah. But he was like, yeah, best case scenario, this surgery covered time would be 2 months. Worst case, another reconstruction would be another 6 months.
Okay, so that's not crazy.
No, and I did schedule surgery actually yesterday. It's January 12th.
That's wild.
Yeah, I figured I'd get the holidays over with, give me time to work some overtime,
Enjoy the holiday.
Yeah, not be maimed. But I wish I could do it sooner, but at the same time, it's like if I'm going to fully heal and get back to what I want to do, I need to take my time. I need
Yeah.
to, not that I didn't do it the first time around. It's just shit happens, man.
Yeah,
Like you
man,
can't
it
really
really
control
does.
everything.
No,
Yeah.
not at all, dude. It's insane.
But yeah,
Uh,
no, ever since the fight, I have very minimal training because, they're like trying to minimize the impact you have on that shoulder while you're rehabbing it. Try to, so we can see if we can avoid surgery.
which shoulder is it?
My right shoulder.
So it's not the jab hand.
No.
Something.
It's my overhand, my
Yeah, yeah.
main one I love.
That bread and butter.
Yeah.
I get that. Man. I think you'll get better pretty quick, and he's a good doctor.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Dr. Greco in Huntsville.
Greco sounds like a good doctor.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dr. Greco. So, what are the plans outside of fighting? You're 30, like you said. I'm 30, like everybody knows. I'm a little more shot out than you are. We can't fight forever and ever and ever. What is the long-term goal for you in general? And I just mean, like, obviously, I think for you, as far as fighting, the goal should be to win belts. The goal should be to get on TV. I understand that, right? There should be some TV time for you just based on how you fight. I don't see that being an issue. Once fighting's over, what are you wanting? What do you want for your life? What do you want your life to look like? What are you going to do? Are you going to teach people? Are you wanting to do you have a career path you would like to check out? What do you want from your life after fighting, Miss Wagner? I'm telling you, I'm a good podcaster, dude.
You know what? I've never really had a career in mind that I've wanted to do. So I've gone through a few different jobs trying, right now the one I have is great. Like I could see myself, if I had to, staying there for quite a while. I just know some things I love to do and I enjoy more than others. Like I love going out and photographing nature.
That's
I love, going for hikes and being, trying to figure out workouts. And here lately, I've kind of wondered, it's like, you know what, maybe I could go get a kinesiology degree or nutrition or both. And like,
What's kinesiology?
The study of movement.
Oh, that's cool.
So it would help with like workouts and stuff like that. And right now that I'm competing, coaching, I find myself
it's hard
throwing in my comments every
Yeah.
now and then. It's like, okay, yeah. But as far as doing a class, I guess it comes down to confidence. It's like and dealing with people. It's like I'm not really great with dealing with people. It's like I'll be nice and like I'll talk to you and stuff, but I've been told at work, especially, it's like, well, everybody gets along with you. You're nice to people, but like people have to approach you for you to talk. It's like, well, you should have seen me in high school. I was like dead silent. I wouldn't talk to anybody. But yeah, no, it's
you're gonna train forever.
Yeah.
Train
forever.
Yeah. I dig that.
Yeah, no, I guess
a job that lets you train forever. It's a hard question though. So it's a hard question, man.
It really is. It's like I know what I like to do. I just don't have
for me
plan.
This is just me talking to you like we're friends. I had, like you said, it broke my heart. It really did. I put a lot of time and effort and lost some friendships that weren't friendships and stuff, and once I got through with all of it, it was hard for me to find a like a different identity. Like I'm still me. I'm Sam McAlpin. But like it was once I realized it was over, it was very hard to cut the cord.
Yeah.
Like it was very hard to sell the cage. It was hard to sell the box truck. It was hard to take all my stuff out of that gym. I came, like I tell everybody I'm a recovering alcoholic. Now Vicky disagrees, but I know for 100% fact if I wanted to, I could go put a bottle down and I could go to jail. I can go to jail today. I can go to jail today, Bonnie. I can go to jail right now. The minute it's 10 o'clock in the morning, the minute that you head home, I could walk up and get me a bottle and I could be in jail by 2 p.m. I could be in jail by 2 p.m. because I know how I can drink when I want to drink. And when I was putting everything up, I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get drunk and I'm going to burn this town down. So I was putting
That's
my
what
stuff
makes
up.
questions like the one you just asked hard is like to answer, because like I can't imagine my life without it. I honestly can't tell you what I would do without it.
And so I was putting the stuff up in the building, up in my granddad's building. I was by myself. Tyler helped me load it. Tyler's the only one that helped me load everything up. I had to unload it by myself. So I was unloading my stuff, and I was like, I'm going to go get drunk, and I'm going to burn this whole town down. And I went up to my fridge, and sure enough, there's a bottle of liquor in there. And it was a bottle of tequila, And so I took me a shot, and I said, well, my wife and kids didn't do nothing at all for them to see me like this and deserve to be a part of this energy that's about to happen. So I'm not doing it. And I said, okay, I'm not doing that. And I tried to like completely get away from it, but like a lot of people know me now because of the AFC, which is cool. And I'm going to say that as humbly as possible, right? It was just a cool thing that we all got to do, that God let me do, that God let us do. And so like for a lot of people, that's my whole thing. And I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's hard to get past once you get done. And even then, it was impossible to get away. We're training in the grass now. I'm
It's like,
taking.
speaking of,
Yeah, yeah.
how are you doing?
Yeah, yeah. I think good. I think
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Uh, uh, I could eat better.
Oh yeah, hell,
Yeah,
me
I could
too.
eat. I could eat better.
Yeah.
But it's hard to diet, like when you're trying to like.
Oh yeah, without that goal or
Yeah,
that like
dude.
the reason, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
but I can.
And then the guys are learning when they come. You know how people are; they're in and out. Some people are training other places. I don't care what anybody does. The people that show up, it's cool. It's neat. It feels like Viking stuff, especially when it's cold.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm good. It took a little while to. Whoa.
Let it settle.
Oh man, it took a while.
Yeah.
And then once I got past all that, I was like, oh okay. Like so like a lot of people know, like me and Trevor got some stuff, right? Uh, I found Trevor in high school, and like for a long time, I really, really did want him to say something about the AFC or me, right? Not in a selfish way, right? And I even told people if he would just mention the AFC, dude, it would help so much. And this is not to dump on anybody. This is us talking. For the long, and because it's going to come out right, it's going to come out good in the end. Because right for a second I'll sound bitter, but once I get it out, you're like, oh okay. And for the longest time, I was like, man, why is he not? Why won't he just say something? Like just say something. Like it ain't got to be me. Say the AFC. Say the AFC put me up here. Thanks. Something would have been great. And for the longest time, I wanted that. I wanted that so bad, just because I know the time and effort and money and that I put into him. And then once I went, once I eventually though I finally said, well, what's going to happen if he does? Like, let's say he wins his next fight by knockout on TV, right? Which would be awesome and great and good for him, and I hope he does. Say he hops on the microphone and says, "Hey, I just want to tell the AFC, thank you, for building me like you did, right?" So for like 2 days, people's going to be blowing up my phone. Hey, did you see that? Hey, did you see that? Work, it's going to be a hot topic. Did you see that, man? He mentioned you. He did it. It's about 2 days. It's going to be awesome. It's going to feel really cool, right? Did it put any money in my bank account? Right? What happens after those 2 days? Right? Let's say it happens on a Saturday. Sunday, my phone blows up. What's happening Monday? I got to go to work.
Yeah.
I still got to go to work. After about 2 days of them asking me if I seen it, it's never going to be mentioned again. So, nah, dude. I thought I needed that. I thought I really needed that validation, that appreciation and stuff. No, dude. My kids will never hear that probably in their whole life. Do you think they love me any less? No, they high five me, son. They jump on my back. I give a piss less what somebody says about me now, but it took a long time to get there. It took a long time to get there, man. Uh, it took a long time to get there. It really did. But I talked to him before the last fight. He did good,
He really did.
Yeah,
Showed a lot of improvement.
Yeah,
all
he
around.
did. I wanted to check in with him and be like, hey, because like one thing you would see is he was like you see stuff like I see stuff. I know you watch our people fight anyway, and I would notice that like every time he was hopping in there, he was all smiley and giddy and high fiving Bruce Buffer, and I'm like, dude, Bruce don't give two craps about you, like if you lose this fight, you're probably out. Stop high fiving Bruce before the fight. Stop talking to all these people and taking in the sights, man. You got to find who that dog is. You can high five Bruce when you're done. You can enjoy Abu Dhabi when you're done. I said, but before all that, it's got to be business, man. You got to find a way to go out there and be that guy that you were for a little while. And Jeff did a great job getting him right. I think Agogi probably did a lot getting him right. And if he can get out of the soaking in the sights, I think he's going to get to do some pretty cool stuff. Wild. Again, I do think Sid should be on TV. I think Sid should have if he ever decided to. I think that's a guy that should have got a call up.
I'll tell you, like when life starts hitting,
Oh God.
sometimes like months go by. It's like, well, damn, like I could have been training this whole time. It's
Mhm.
like, but stuff just happens, and sometimes it knocks people out of their competing because, like, man, I just can't catch up. I can't catch a break. Like I've got all this going on. And like I want to train, I want to compete, but at the same time, it's like life is freaking hard, especially right now.
Oh, dude, yeah, like you're sitting there in your head wondering if your arm's gonna get better. So, like, what a lot of people don't know, but now you've seen my foot though, right? The potato foot, the potato foot. So, when I was 16, I jumped off a roof, man, and this is gonna get to you on it. I jumped off a roof. I cut my Achilles off the bone. It got infected real bad after I had the surgery. Just didn't have nobody pointing me on how to take care of it. Didn't take care of it, So every fight I had after that, every training session I had after that, it was on that weird potato looking foot, man. And it feels fine. It hurts some days, but it's more sporadic. It's like if I'm on it because I got bone spurs and things like that, heel spurs. But the thought was always in the back of my mind, what if I break it?
Yeah, it's like once you go through something kind of major like that, thoughts always, even if you think you've passed it, it's like, okay, I'm doing good, I feel great, like I'm back to normal, I'm even better than I was. Even if you don't think it's there, it's always in the back of your mind.
What if it snaps?
What if I re-injure it?
Yeah, what if it breaks bad?
Yeah.
Have you thought about seeing a sports psychologist for that once you have the surgery again? Because I'm sure a lot of them do.
Like, I've processed a lot ever since the fight.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is something I noticed even for the kickboxing fight I did. It's like, okay, this is to test to see if the shoulder's better.
Yeah. That's cool.
And it wasn't striking. Even right now, I can hit the bag. It's just the extended stuff, or whatever. And one of the tests he did to see what the surgery might be is like I laid down on the table and he did this and like pulled it this way, and it hurt. Like I almost came off the table. And he put pressure where he fixed the front part of it, and it immediately got better. And I was like,
that sucks.
Okay, so it's not. It was debate whether or not at the beginning if it was rotator cuff.
Hikamura.
And so like jiu-jitsu and wrestling, anything like
Americana's this way,
yeah.
So the Dr. Kimura, yeah.
But like this way, it was fine. It was just so it's like, man. Sometimes I forget that it's still injured because like day to day, like the small stuff like shoulder width,
nothing.
Like I forget, and then I try to actually do something with it. Like, crap.
Imagine
it's still there.
Imagine a doctor that like trains in jiu-jitsu gets a black belt. He'd just be nasty.
Yeah.
He'd snatch it. Wow, I got it. Got the bone. Wow, I got the tendon. Wow. Oh, that'd be so wild, dude.
Yep.
That'd be so wild. Well, man, we're gonna have to do this again.
Yeah.
We got 1:15 easy.
Yeah, dude.
Easy.
Like I was looking at the time, it's like, wow,
Yeah,
the time went by
easy,
super fast.
That's the thing. We got flowing. We got talking. Before I let you off, is there anything you'd like to say to people at home in case they do ever see this video? Just hey, how are you? Love you. Anything you want.
Yeah, I mean, I love all the love and support I've been getting. Like I have been majorly in my head. I've been a bit of a bitch lately. Like I know I'm better than this, and I really appreciate the belief in me, no matter if it wanes. From my point of view, I'm getting there, and just a little bit more belief and support, and I'll be back to it before you know it.
That's awesome, Bonnie. You've never been finished still?
No, I've only ever lost by decision.
I mean, almost nobody, myself included, can claim that. That doesn't just happen. That's not a normal thing. I have a lot of faith in you. I think you've got a good coaches around you.
Oh yeah,
just
my
keep your head up.
Are amazing.
maybe look into a sports psychologist if it gets real crazy, because I mean it's something, can't hurt a bit. But I'm excited to see what you do when you get better, whatever you do in fighting, whatever you do in your life. I'm just excited to see you keep growing. It's cool, man, because you're not 30, you're 25, bud. But Bonnie, thank you for hopping on. Folks, thank you for watching. Share it around. What do you want me to close with? Grapevine or the DX again? What are we doing?
Oh, I don't know. I forgot what they sounded like.
So the grapevine is I heard it through the grapevine, and then the other one's. We'll go ahead.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah, we'll go with that one.